Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Tonight guys, I'm going to be putting a 6.0 together. This should be making around about 500 horsepower, and then we're going to shoot some nitrous to it. So I'm going to carry y'all along guys, the basics on installing one of the pistons and show y'all actually how it's done. And I want to give a shout out guys on this engine to Wisco for the pistons, Brian Tooley for the camshaft, and Airflow Research for the heads that's going on this motor. So a shout out to all those guys for the parts. So y'all, let's get started. Okay guys, what we want to do is you got a top ring and you got your second ring and your top ring. And if you actually look, both of them's got dots on the top. I'm gonna make sure both of these dots are to the top of the piston when you install it in. So what you want to do on the ring gap guys is, and I've actually already file fitted these, so I'm gonna just pretty much show y'all how it's done. What you want to do is you want to push this ring in there a little bit like that right there. Get it in there like that. And what you want to do is take your piston and you pretty much want to push it in to about the top of that ring right there. So it'll be about level like that guys. And then what you want to do is look up in there. Find the gap on it. Your gap's right here. And the filler gauge is on 24 thousandths, guys. So I normally set them around 24 thousandths. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that filler gauge goes through that ring just like that right there. And I normally file fit them around 22 to 24 thousandths, guys. So then what you want to do, guys, is check your top one, and then you'll put it in there like that the same way. Then you take your piston again and you push your piston like that till it levels off. And then you want to go in there again, guys, and check it with your filler gauge. That's what you want, guys. One in like that right there, and I'll roll that ring around like that right there. Roll it around, and then I'll take my fingers right about here and slowly push it down until it comes on around and drops. And what you want to do is make sure it goes to the top, just like that, guys. And there again, make sure your dots to the top, like that right there. And you roll it around, just like that. And normally what I do is I don't put both the openings together. So what I normally do is roll this ring around here to around this side, and then leave this one around this side, and then this is your bottom. This is your bottom O-ring, and you want to put it on. And then I've already pretty much, and then I got my ARP rod bolts. Let me show you an example on how to put the bearings in this thing. You see this groove in it from the factory? You got a groove on this bearing. And what you do is you push it down in there like that right there. I normally take mine and make sure it's flush there, and hold it with my finger and push this side down till it flushes off. And then when it flushes off like that, it's in there. Another thing, guys, I need to show y'all too is if you look at these caps, especially on the side of them, you see how it's like going down. And then, I'm sorry, I got the cap on the back. But these caps, when they make these caps, guys, when GM makes these caps, they mold them, and then what they do from the factory is they don't have bolts in them, and when they make these caps, they crack them off. They crack them off just like that right there. And so when you put these caps together, guys, you got to make sure that they're, don't ever mix them up, because if you do, you'll have problems. So, and another thing, guys, when you put the piston in and then you put the cap on it, the locks, always goes together. And then the flat surfaces goes together. And that's the way you do it. Okay guys, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna install this piston. And what I normally do is I take a little bit of motor oil and put it in a cup like this. And I'll stick my finger on it. And I'll run it around the rings like this in the pistons. Kind of like that right there. So it'll pretty much lubricate the cylinder when I slide the piston in it. So what you want to do is lube it up real good around the piston. And then make sure your rings spin real good. And normally guys, what I do is I take some and I rub it around the hole like that right there, so the bore's got some oil in it too. So normally what I do is, and then slide my ring squeezer on there, or a mallet, and then you slowly bump in the center of the piston as it goes in. But you slowly bump it like that. And what you want to do is get it, this thing here is prestigious. Because it is right beside that other rod. And what you want to do when you get it close in like that, you bump it till it stops. And what I do is I put a little bit of oil on it too. On both sides of it. Just like that right there. Lock. You match them together, then you slide it on there like that, and you start your bolts. You hear that? That means that one's at 45 foot-pound. You hear it? That one's at 45 foot-pound. And I normally go over them twice just to make sure. That one clicked again. That one clicked again. And then what you want to do, guys, either you're at the front of the motor and go back, or at the back of the motor and go front, whatever you prefer. So I'm started on this very back one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start back here and go that way. All right, guys, we got two last ones. We'll do these two, and then we'll check the rod bolts right quick. I already torqued these, but I just want to make sure and go back over them to be on the safe side. So we'll torque these two last piston rods. And then these are 65 foot-pounds. So what we'll do is we'll set the torque wrench up for 65 foot-pounds, and then we'll check all of these guys. And then that's pretty much, we'll pretty much wrap it up tonight. That's that one. 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 So I went from the middle and went that way. Now I'm gonna go from the middle and go this way. Okay, so all your middle ones, 1/2 inch, are 65 foot-pound. Then I'm gonna do the outside ones, 15 millimeter. And I'll go the same sequence, from the center out, from the center out. So I go right here on my outside one. It clicked, that means it's 65 pound. It clicked, that one. Then I'm in the middle and I'm going this way. So that's all the mains. They're torqued at 65. All right, guys, I'm gonna close this video out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next upload.